Coffee Talk. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, and I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. How y'all doing this evening? This is our Wednesday night sports edition. That's right, our Wednesday night sports edition. And we are back. We are back on this icy evening. Slippery out there, y'all. But we're making it through here in the Twin Cities. We're making it through, you know. We at the midpoint of our winter months, as we should say, you know. And I'm happy. It feels good to be past December, you know what I mean? And into the new year, however you look at it. Some don't consider it the new year till spring, you know. Today is January 11th, 2023. And how are y'all doing today? How are you doing today? Let me know. Let's do this, because last week when I was talking about when I give that intro of how you're doing today on a scale of 1 through 10, I told you it kind of makes me not feel right. You know what I'm saying? I love numbers. And I didn't like making number one a less than number, because it's not a less than number in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's my spiel. So let's do this. On a grade level of how you doing today, January 11, 2003, what would you grade yourself today? A, being that you're passing the class with ease, you're having a good time. B is you're on your way. C is you're not just average, but you know, you're there, you're focused, you're engaged. D is you might need a little bit of work, and that's what we're here to help you with by giving you the flavor and uplifting you and just being a shoulder for you to talk to, cry on, or whatever. We here for you. You know what I'm saying? And then F, if you're having an F day, just let us know. That doesn't mean you're a failure. That means that we just need to channel your frequency to a higher level than where it's at right now. You know what I'm saying? You might be at a low vibe right now. We want to definitely help you out with that, you know. So that's why we have you tune in here to Coffee Talk Podcast, a Cultural Variety Podcast Show. So yes, it's Wednesday night sports edition. We are excited. But for first-time viewers, if this is your first time tuning into to our show, Coffee Talk Podcast, we are a cultural variety podcast show. We appear 3 times a week. Sunday and Mondays are alternate nights. And what we like to do on alternate Sunday and Monday nights, we like to call that the Cultural Studies Night. And so we like to give big props to our doctors, our lawyers, our scholars, our people. We like to read poems. We like to read a few pages. We might even read a short chapter. We love to give our props to our people. And we love that you enjoy our people. So again, the show is for everybody. You know, sometimes when people tend to hear that this is a show, a cultural variety show, I've heard in the wind, some people just think that, you know, it's just a black thing. Ooh, it's just a black thing. They don't want us watching the show. That's not true at all. We welcome all viewers to our show, and we want to definitely say welcome to our humble home. One of the creations of our show, Coffee Talk Podcast, was because old media that you frequently see, old media, they always carry a negative storyline that has to do with melanated people. And in the new era of media, news media, or media, I should say, the new media, which I'm a part of, Coffee Talk Podcast, we give you a different narrative. We give you an uplifting frequency. We give you a different narrative. We like to talk highly about the melanated people and not down like old media does. So I just wanted to say that, you know what I'm saying? But Mondays is our cultural studies night. Wednesday, tonight is our sports edition. We're not your typical sports show, however. We don't really care about who won or lost a game. What we care about is the different intricacies that goes on behind the scenes in the worlds of sports, So we definitely, that's what we do on Wednesday nights. And then on Friday and Saturday, end of the week, weekend, you want to let your hair down, ladies. Fellas, you want to go get a nice fade, trimmed up, whatever. Get comfortable at home or go out, whatever you're doing. But that's what we do on Friday, Saturday night. We like to do 10-question Q&A. We like to have guests. We like to have laughter, fun, joy, shit talking. That's what we do on Friday and Saturday nights. Entertainment news as well. So that's us. That's Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. And I am your host, MISHUMA SABA. You can call me M. Dot for short, or you can call me Dot for short. And if you know me personally, you can use those other names as well. But I'm happy to be here, as you can see or hear the excitement. Tonight, we're going to give props to Fisk University, a historical Black college university, HBCU, and their women's gymnastics program. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to discuss Gervonta Tank Davis. He's in the news for his victory over Hector Garcia. But we're also going to talk about a statement that was made towards him from promoter. What's this promoter's name? I got it right here. I apologize. Eddie Hearn. So we're going to definitely talk about that. But before we get into the show, we never start the show. Give me a second here without giving it its flavor. Can you help me for a minute? Can you pull that up? Just so it's there. Yeah. There we go. I think it gets there. Thank you. Yeah, my son's helping me in the studio, so I appreciate that. Yeah, all right, so listen, where was I? Okay, let's go ahead and start the show. If this is your first time tuning into the show, we never start the show without giving it its flavor, as well as its wise words for the show. So today's flavor is Kona coffee. That's Kua coffee, Kona Kua coffee, which is 100% whole bean. It's considered the champagne of coffee, and it's available in dark or medium roast. And this is one of the most expensive coffees in the world. That coffee bean sells for anywhere between $42 and $88 per pound. It's one of the nice tasting medium roasts that you can get. And I decided to make it today's flavor because we're in this little winter icy evening. It's slippery outside. You shouldn't be driving, but I know this is something that, you should be drinking on something warm, getting the body warm. Throw you something in that Kona coffee, rum chata or something, and enjoy your evening. You know what I'm saying? That's what we like to do here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Come on in, kick your feet up, pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie, some water, some beer, whatever you do. Come on in, kick your feet up, and enjoy yourself here at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so yeah, it's sports night tonight. Do you want some Kona coffee? Have you ever tasted Kona coffee? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. Also, while you're there, share the video. Hit the like button. It doesn't hurt to hit the like button. Let us know you love us because we love you back. And also, don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on YouTube right now, live. That's right, live. But going forward, so tonight's wise words. Tonight's wise words is from a poet, an author, a beautiful mother queen who was an actress as well. And she also was a civil rights activist. She was born April 4th, 1928. And she went to the Essence May 28th, 2014. We're speaking no other than poet Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou's wise words here for Coffee Talk Podcast is this. This is what I'm learning at 82 years old. The main thing is to be in love with the search for truth. So at 82 years old, Maya Angelou stated this is what she was learning. And she said that the main thing is to be in love with the search for truth. Ain't that the truth? Because we're living in the times right now where everybody appreciates being lied to. People are scared of the truth these days. Nobody wants to be giving constructive feedback, constructive criticism. And certain words blend off triggers in people. Just certain words make people feel like they're attacked. You know, we living in a sensitive time right now, and that's just what it is. Even the great coach Deion Sanders stated that kids today are soft. But I don't know if it's so much the kids as more like there's some adults as well that's just soft. Men, soft. And we need you to be strong in these days and times. You know, there's moments we all going to have our soft moment, of course. But it can't be more consistent than being a soldier, being a provider, being a teacher, being a confidant, being a friend, being a father. Sensitive can't be, or being soft cannot be ranked more than those things. Not in this day and time, because we need our brothers and our sisters, you know. So that is our wise words for tonight by Maya Angelou. I will repeat what it was. The wise words is, this is what I'm learning at 82 years old. The main thing is to be in love with the search for truth. Maya Angelou. So what's up with you? What have you done today? How are you feeling today on a scale of A through F? How are you feeling today? Go ahead and leave that in the comments here at Coffee Talk Podcast. How was your day? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. What kind of day are you having? What did you eat today? Did you have any fruit today? Did you work out today? Did you have some advice that you might have carried in your pocket finally come about, and you said to yourself, yeah, I get it now. I know, I remember what that person said to me, whether it be your aunties, your uncles, your friends, your grandmothers, your mother's friends, whatever. Any advice come to fruition today? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. All right. So like I said, it's Wednesday night sports edition. I got something in my eye, so please forgive me for chasing this eyelash, but it's bothering me. All right. So that was Maya Angelou, whose wise words we just got done speaking. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about Fisk University. That's right, Fisk University. Have you ever heard of Fisk University? HBCU. But Fisk University becomes the first HBCU team to compete at the NCAA level. That's right. HBCUs typically don't get invited to the NCAA levels. That's a D1AA competition level, you know, and so they've never really, brought HBCUs to compete. There's some few colleges that do compete on the NCAA level, but when it comes to gymnastics, they never had a gymnastics team until now. Fisk University becomes the first HBCU team to compete at the NCAA level, they announced they announced this just a little bit over a year ago, as they were building the team up. And that lady right there in the right corner, that's head coach Corinne Tarver, and she's in her first season. But Corinne Tarver is a name that we should know, and so we do salute the Queen. Queen Tarver is the first Black gymnast to win an NCAA all-around title back in 1989. That's right. Her name is Corinne Tarver. She is in her first season, and she's the head coach of the Fisk University women's gymnastics team. I tried to get a picture of the ladies tonight. I was having a little bit of difficulty, but I did get the coach. So there's the coach there. We definitely salute the Queen. She attended college at the University of Georgia before coming on over to Fisk University. You can actually catch the team January 13th, actually. You can catch the Fisk women's gymnastics team on January 13th. They will be facing the University of Michigan in gymnastics. They just finished fourth last week on January 6th in a tournament that featured North Carolina, Southern Utah, and Washington Huskies. So there was a 4-team gymnastics tournament for the ladies in their first year of competing. They finished fourth, and on January 13th, if you got Fire Stick or whatever, if you got all the channels, whatever, I'm sure that you can find Fisk University against the University of Michigan gymnastics teams on January 13th. Definitely check it out. What I want to do here at Coffee Talk Podcast, because we are saluting Corinne Tarver as well as Fisk University's gymnastics women's team, I would like to give them ladies a shout out. So I'm going to go ahead and name off their names here tonight on Coffee Talk Sports Edition. Number 1, Xana Brewer, Lindsay Collier, Haley Clark, Zaya Coleman, Jordan Camrati, Brianna Daniels, Kylie McDonald, Liberty Mora, Namath Nehemiah Muhammad, Morgan Price, Aaliyah Reed Hammond, Kiara Richmond, Kiana Session, Heisey White, and Alyssa Wiggins. And one of the sisters that I named, Jordan Camrati, she was a highly regarded gymnast coming out of high school. She could have went anywhere. But her uncle, who was an alum with Fisk University, she went to him and said, no, he asked her to come to the HBCU. And she could have went anywhere in gymnastics. She said, Uncle, I would love to go to Fisk, but I don't want to attend because I want to continue to chase my dreams and Olympic aspirations, joining the gymnastics team. So her uncle got with the rest of the alums and the presidents, and they made it happen. They made it where Fisk University, for the first time in the school's history, has a women's gymnastics team coached by Corinne Tarver, the first Black gymnast to win the NCAA all-around title back in 1989. So what is your thoughts about that? Do you know anybody that attends Fisk University in basketball or anything like that? Or, just attends the school? Big support, big shout out to our HBCUs. My son is at a HBCU, so definitely big shout out to the families. But yeah, tell me, when's the first time you ever heard of Fisk University, what you know about Fisk University, Have you ever been to the campus? Let us know. Leave a comment. Share the video. Hit the like button. And subscribe to the video. But that's our first segment for Coffee Talk Wednesday Night Sports Edition. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a 30-second commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to talk about Tank Davis. Yes, that's right. Tank Davis is in the news. He's in the news anyway because he's just coming off of a victory over Hector Garcia. But we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on with the champ, what the haters are saying about him, and things like that. So I will be right back in 30 seconds. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. I'll see you in 30 seconds. Welcome back to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA. This is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. How y'all doing? It's icy right now in the Twin Cities. But as you can see in the background there, I got a nice little view of our city during this nice spring, summery months. I think that's the summertime, actually. The beautiful city of downtown Minneapolis. Not Minneapolis, but Minneapolis is what we call it. You know, a lot of celebrities that come through the town, they call it Minneapolis. Where'd the Minion come from? You know what I mean? We always crack up about out-of-towners that say it that way. The Minneapolis. But it's all love. Welcome. This is our Coffee Talk Podcast, Wednesday Night Sports Edition. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this man right here. That boy's the truth. This man right here that goes by the name of Gervonta Tank Davis from GTD Promotions. Gervonta Tank Davis is the regular lightweight and super lightweight WBA champion. He's been holding it down for a while. I'm here to speak on his behalf because I don't like what people are saying when they say he ain't fought nobody. I'm wondering what sport they're watching. But Tank Davis is coming off an 8th round TKO. Really. Hector Garcia, he actually retired. He quit on the stool at the beginning of the 9th inning. The 9th round. He had took a shot just right over the temple, right before the 8th round had ended, right above the eye, in between the eye and the temple. He goes back to the corner, and he couldn't come out. He told his corner that he could not see out of his right eye. That's how vicious the blow is by Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that now carries a record of 29 wins, and I think it's 25 knockouts. I know it was 28-24, so it's 29 wins with 25 knockouts. Again, he is the regular lightweight champ and super lightweight WBA champion at 130 pounds. And I don't know, man, was that fight 135? Somebody put that in the comments and let me know. If it was a 135-pound fight, I believe it was. But he might still be at 130, 135. I know Shakir's coming up, and he's at 135 right now. Haney's at 135, possibly going to be going up to 140 eventually. But he has a fight with Lomachenko. But tonight, the reason why I wanted to bring talk about the champ is because he's being disrespected. Yeah, he's being disrespected. I just told you. Sounded like Kanye West. I just told you. This brother has 29 wins with 25 KOs. It's a 90 percentile, close to a 90 percentile knockout rate. And what happens? Sports Illustrated releases their pound for pound list. And here it is. Number 1, Terrence Crawford, 39-0. Number 2, Alexandra Usyk, 20-0. Number 3, Sal Canelo Alvarez, 58-2-2. Number 4, Nayo Inoue at 24 wins, 0 losses. Number 5, Errol Spence, 28-0. Number 6, Tyson Fury, 32-0 with 1 draw. Number 7, Dmitry Bivol with 21 wins, 0 losses. Number 8, Shakir Stevens with 18 wins, 0 losses. Number 9, Jermell Charlo with 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. And then the other champion, undisputed champion, I'm going to say it like that because he's one of my favorite boxers, Devin Haney at 29-0. It's an outcry. Is that how people say it? It's an outcry. Because I don't understand how Tank is not on the pound for pound list. First of all, it needs to be rearranged. I would not have Canelo Alvarez at rank number 3 in the pound for pound list. Not here at Coffee Talk Podcast. I would probably have him somewhere between 4 and 5. Errol Spence Jr., also undisputed champion. I would move him up to 2. Alexander Usyk, I would put him at 3. Nayo Inoue will be at 4, where he's at. Then I would have Tyson Fury, Dmitry Bivol. Those are correct. I would have Jermell Charlo at 8, Shakir Stevens at 9, Devin Haney at 10. Because I haven't seen Devin really knock nobody out yet. A lot of people are saying in the win that Devin don't have the knockout power, but he does have a high IQ in boxing. He's a great champion. Shakir Stevens is a great champion. Jermell Charlo is a great champion. Him and his twin brother. Errol Spence, one of my favorite fighters right now. And, of course, Bud Crawford, man. I just salute our fighters right now. We holding it down in boxing. But if you listen to that other news media, they try to just talk about Alexander Usyk, Canelo, and Tyson Fury. They don't want to give props to the brothers, man. They don't. I'm just keeping it real. Let me go ahead, man, and go over this body count. All this a body count of 4 bodies, actually 5 bodies that Gervonta Tank Davis has left chalked up. First, it was one of the well-respected Mexican fighters that I like, Leo Santa Cruz. Then he dominated, and that was a knockout. Uppercut, Leo Santa Cruz, vicious. Then he took out Mario Barrios with a body blow. Then he fought Pitbull Isaac Cruz, who's a tough Mexican fighter that loves to come forward. He reminds me of Sean Porter. And, a few people try to say that Isaac Pitbull Cruz won that fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. I defer on that. Also, Tank was fighting with one hand in the later rounds because he broke his hand. Still took care of business in that fight. Tank also took care of a tough fighter who just talks a little too much. But, hey, I can't diss him because he talks too much. All fighters talk a lot, certain ones. But Rolando Romero, the kid seems tough. I got to see him in another fight with another well-known component to really give him the props that he deserves. Right now, to me anyway, he's still in that funny style. He seems like he's a comedian. That's just because he has a list. So everybody that makes, makes fun of him, the way he talks. But he is a great fighter. But I need to see a little bit more before I can really say he's great. You know what I mean? No disrespect. We want to always keep it positive here at Coffee Talk Podcast. And the other body that Tank Garcia left choked up was the most recent Hector Garcia, who some say was winning the fight. I didn't see the earlier rounds of the fight. I'm still trying to catch it. But I did see the highlights. I did see the hit that Hector Garcia took. And I also saw Hector Garcia quit on the stool. You know, so that's like one of the third worst knockouts. Just my opinion. So you have three different types of losing factors in boxing. The greatest knockout to me is the body blow. Oh, I love to see a person just get hit to the side of the kidneys or whatever, and he just slunches over, damn near shits on himself, folds up, and falls over. To me, that's the greatest knockout. Let me know what the greatest knockouts are for you. Is it somebody just getting knocked out, or is it the uppercut? Is it the overhand right, overhand left? Is it, the hook? What's your favorite knockout? The second top knockout is that getting just knocked out. You getting your chin raised up or your temple smashed in, and you falling, you're wobbling, and your legs go out. That's the second knockout. But the third is when you just quit on the stool. You just took damage throughout the fight. Those are the knockouts, the three knockouts right there that we enjoy in the sport of boxing. What's your favorite knockout? Go ahead and leave a comment. Who have you seen got knocked out the worst than any other competitor or fighter in boxing history? Who you think got their ass knocked out the worst? Go ahead and leave their name in the comment. And while you're at it, hit the like button, share the video. Make sure you subscribe to Coffee Talk Podcast. So here, before I get ready to go, this gentleman here made a comment about Tank Davis that a lot of people right now are upset about, especially promoter Leonard Ellerbe, part of the Mayweather camp. But I'm going to read something to you. You tell me what your thoughts are. This is the response of Eddie Hearn towards our boy Gervonta Tank Davis. He said this on Daz and Boxing Show. He said, Gervonta Tank Davis, the dangerous thing about Gervonta is he's not a deep thinker. He's not articulate. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He's a bad motherfucker. Like Mike Tyson. That makes him dangerous because he's fearless. You can't get into his head. Those are the exact text or the exact statement that Eddie Hearn gave to Daz in Boxing Sports. So do you think that was a racist comment? The fact that he said that Gervonta is not a deep thinker and he's not articulate. Also, though, Eddie Hearn in that same statement said that he was not saying that in a disrespectful way. Well, Leonard Ellerbe took it that way. Leonard Ellerbe says, he called Eddie Hearn privileged because Eddie Hearn comes from England. You know how that is over there. And he also said, that was a racist statement saying that Gervonta Tank Davis is not a deep thinker and he's not articulate. The reason why I bring that up is because of this. About a month ago on our sports edition, we were talking about Terrence Crawford. And I had made a comment that suggested that Terrence Crawford gets a publicist. I didn't mean that in no harm. I more meant that as far as looking out for the baby bulls. And I say that because I'm older than those brothers. And I got mad respect for them. But when I listened to an interview of Terrence Crawford, and I've also listened to Tank Davis speak before, and just the history of sports and black athletes, if you are not articulate enough, you are not going to get the endorsement deals that's going to help you build generational wealth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the name of the game is boxing is a dangerous sport. You can get killed there. I've seen a boxer get killed in the ring. His name was Dooku Kim. And he lost to Ray Boom Boom Mancini. He got killed in the ring. Look it up. It's a dangerous sport. And the only reason why boxers box is so that they can make enough money to take care of themselves and their families. Mayweather was great at doing that. Mayweather was great at not getting hit as well. You don't want to get hit a lot in boxing. You want to be able to walk out of boxing when your career is finished and you didn't take much of a beating. You didn't get hit much. You want to make sure that you have all your faculties together. You don't want to go out like Muhammad Ali. Peace to him. Peace to the God. But a lot of fighters or any athletes in this entertainment and sports business usually go broke after 3 to 5 years. So you definitely want to get your money. So when I heard Crawford speaking, I said, oh, we got to get him a publicist. Now, I don't know if he has people in his corner that are not going to be yes men, that's going to tell this man so it'll look out for his best interests. Because there's going to be more times that the microphone is going to be put in his face. He's a champion. And you want any person that has a camera in these days and times and a microphone in your face all the time, you want to be able to know how to speak publicly, or the big crowd, small crowds, diverse crowds. You are your brand. And if you cannot speak articulate enough, some will assume you are dumb. And I'm not just saying that to Crawford. I'm speaking to that to Tank Davis as well. I love my brothers, so that's why I tell y'all. We need to start taking some media training on how to talk publicly so that we can expand our brand. Do you follow me? Are going broke after 3 to 5 years in retirement. Can't talk, done been used up in football, done been abused in basketball, been used in tennis, been used in golf. So it's important that as long as you have a brand, you got to keep expanding your brand. Some of the people that had great careers after their career, O.J. Simpson before his situation, you always saw him in the Hertz commercials. Shaquille O'Neal, you can find him in car insurance commercials, Papa John's commercials. Magic Johnson Theaters, as well as the coffee joint that he's connected to. What's the coffee name? Starbucks? I don't want to see my fighters go through taking a beating in the sport of boxing and then these promoters using y'all up like y'all ain't shit. And that's exactly how this dude is talking when he does make his comment about you not a deep thinker, you know, I'm wondering if he's saying that because Javante ended his ties with the Mayweather team. What's your thoughts on the comments by Eddie Hearn? And if you need me to, I'll go ahead and read them again, but I definitely want you to leave yourself a comment. Was it racist? Was he just being real about it? And it wasn't racist to you? I don't know. Parts of it was truthful to me. But what is your thoughts? Is Leonard Ellerby being a little sensitive by thinking that, you know, hey, that was a racist comment? Or are we being real about the situation? Again, Eddie Hearn, promoter, as you can see on the screen, said the dangerous thing about Gervonta Davis is he's not a deep thinker. He's not articulate. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He's a bad motherfucker, like Mike Tyson. That makes him dangerous because he's fearless. You can't get into his head. Okay. When I read that, I have to remove any type of sensitivity that may be trying to creep in. That statement to me, anyway, sounds like shit. We at the bar, you know how guys talk, or at the barber shop, you know how guys talk. And although Eddie Hearn is a European gentleman, you know, we can't always jump on the fence like, oh, he's trying to be. Because I made that same statement about Crawford last month when I said, oh, he needs a publicist. And nobody would say to me, hey, you're being racist towards your own people. So sometimes we got to really chill on the racist card because we play it too much when we need to really be worrying about ourselves a little bit and checking ourselves so that we can be, you know, more united, more of a more community driven, more village driven as a people. You know what I'm saying? You know. But those are my thoughts tonight here at Coffee Talk Podcast Sports Edition every Wednesday night. What is your thoughts on Eddie Hearn? What is your thoughts on the beautiful queen right there, Miss Corinne, the first gymnast and also head coach of Fisk University? Did you enjoy the wise words of Maya Angelou? Go ahead and leave a comment. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hit you off with the universal peace sign. And I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for continuing to support our show, Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast Show. We out of here. I'll see you Saturday. Peace.